Hi, welcome to Chris Ryan Golf. You've joined me again on the Brabazon course. We're on the side of the 16th green today. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk through how to play a shot from this situation. So if we just run through exactly what the situation is, I've got probably around about 25 feet to the flag. Probably 30 to 40% of that distance is the rough, a little bit of fringe, and then I've got the green. It's also running a little bit away from me, so it's a little bit downhill. But the most important thing to note about this situation is that it's quite a thick lie. So the grass is relatively long, the ball's sitting a little bit more down towards the bottom of that. And another added sort of difficulty is that we've had a little bit of rain overnight, so it's quite wet, the grass, so that makes it a little bit thicker and a little bit more difficult to play the shot. So the reason I'm going to go through this shot is because this is a situation where I see a lot of people struggle from. Mainly because the grass is quite thick, and secondly because the green runs away from us. So what we're going to do is we're going to first of all talk about the two shots that I see very, very commonly, and then we're going to go through the third one, which is hopefully how we're actually going to execute the shot. So the first shot that I see would be when golfers understand that this is going to be quite a quick shot. Once we get that ball on the green, it's going to run quite quickly away from us. So they decide that they're going to land the ball maybe just over the fringe, give that ball a bit of space for it to roll out, and they try and be absolutely perfect with their landing zone, get a little bit too delicate. And what very often happens from there is that we get that shot, where the grass grabs the club head, it doesn't accelerate through the golf ball, the ball goes probably 3 or 4 feet max, and not only is that a poor shot, but we face exactly the same shot again. So that's the first one. The second one would be when the golfer takes some practice swings, realises that grass is quite thick, realises that it's going to slow the club head down, and then makes a conscious effort to accelerate the golf club through the golf ball, and we get this one. Where we've managed to extract the ball from the rough, we've managed to land it on the green, but it's gone way, way too far past the hole. I've missed the green again, I've got another chip coming back onto the green. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through how we're going to play the shot, and hopefully how we're going to eliminate those two options. Now, the first one, we saw the golf club get stuck in the grass and it didn't go through. So the first and the most important thing is we actually need that golf club to go through the grass. So we need a little bit more speed in the actual swing to make sure the golf club continues through the grass. If we do that, we're going to get the second one, as we said, where the ball goes too far. So if we have to accelerate, but we don't want the ball to go too far, what have we got to do? Well, if we have to apply that much power to the shot, we need to make sure that energy goes somewhere other than straight towards the flag. So the best place for energy to go would be upwards. So how do we make the golf ball go upwards? Well, the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to open the club. That's after we've selected the golf club which has got the most loft in our bag. So for me, that's a 59-degree club, but I'm actually going to open the club face a little further. So point number one would be get the golf club a little bit more open. Now, the second thing would be we don't want to get too much of the grass between the golf club and the ball. Initially, that's going to reduce the amount of spin we can impart on the golf ball, but also it's going to slow the golf club down. So what we don't really want from this particular situation is a nice wide takeaway where the handle moves a long way away. It then comes back quite shallow. The club enters the grass about here. It's got to go through a good 6 to 8 inches of that grass before it gets to the ball. What we'd actually like to do is to feel that from the setup, with that open club face, we use a little bit more wrist action initially, which will get the golf club working a little bit more upwards. And then you can see that the handle hasn't moved too much away from the target. This is going to allow me to drop the club into the back of the ball a little bit steeper, and that's going to cause less grass to get trapped between the golf club and the ball. So if we look at the golf swing, we don't want the golf club to be working like this, like a very shallow U shape. We almost want to get the feeling that this golf club is working a bit more like a V. So it's almost kind of working up, down, and we get almost like a chopping action, which is going to get that ball to hopefully pop up because we've got the open club face. The key thing as well would be to not give too much lean in the handle. Too much lean in the handle is going to de-loft the golf club, and that's going to send that ball in low. Remember, we're trying to get this ball to pop up, land softly, and then roll out to the golf hole. So we're going to take our starting position, pretty neutral shaft position, get the ball pretty much under the buttons on your shirt, a little bit of weight on the lead leg, open the face quite a bit. You know, I've got that face probably, you know, a good 45 degrees rotated to the right, and from there, feel that we leave the butt of the club where it is, and feel that we just work the club head up with the hands, and we just feel that we drop it underneath the golf ball, okay? Ensure that you take some practice swings first, because practice swings will give you a good idea about how thick that grass is, and it's going to give you a better idea of what we're going to expect when we actually hit the shot. So, let's find a pretty similar lie to what we had before, which is about there. We can see the ball sitting pretty low, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take our starting position, as we just said, we're going to try and make the golf swing that we just spoke about, and hopefully we're going to get a higher, softer shot with a little bit less roll. Okay, so it's actually come out a little bit left of the flag. Based on the situation, I probably wouldn't be too unhappy with that. I managed to get that ball flight a little bit higher, landing a little bit softer, and probably judged the distance quite well, but it's actually rolled a little bit left. But you can certainly see that relative to the first 2 shots I hit, a much, much better result, and I'll be fairly happy with that. So just run through those points again. We're going to go ball pretty much under the sternum, weight a little bit on the left, handle very neutral, open the club face, and feel that with that right hand, we work the club a little bit more up and feel it a little bit more down. Try and create this V shape in your golf swing. That's going to cause less grasp between the club and the ball. We're going to get the ball popping up, landing a little bit softer, and hopefully going to give us better results. So next time you find yourself in that situation, try and remember the setup points, try and remember what we've got to do, and make sure you have some practice swings first to get an idea what it's going to feel like as you go through the golf ball, and hopefully you'll get better results and give yourself a chance at holding the next putt.